Hey man, I do what I do.
All you folks of African descent, Latin America, Colombia, Brazil, Central America, all you going all the way back. You had to deal with the legacy of racism in the New World too, through your own ancestors. And we expected more than anyone else in the world, you all would empathize with us. But instead, like our African brothers and sisters from the continent, you claim to be superior to us, your culture, right? Somebody type culture in the chat room. Shout out to my man CA007 and Hybrid 711. Somebody type culture. You say our foundational Black American culture. What do you say? See, our culture, which you don't respect and which you deny exists, is why we weathered the storm for so many centuries in the belly of the beast. On the other hand, your culture does not prepare you to deal with what you have to encounter in the United States, especially right now. And it's the reason why amongst Black people here in the United States, Caribbean men have the highest rate of unalivement of themselves amongst Black Americans. Those same people from those Caribbean islands, that Caribbean descent. On the other hand, your culture does not prepare you to deal with what you have to encounter in the United States, especially right now. And it's the reason why amongst Black people here in the United States, Caribbean men have the highest rate of unalivement of themselves amongst Black Americans. Those same people from those Caribbean islands, that Caribbean descent. I'm not talking about Africans. I'm not talking about foundational Black Americans. I'm saying your culture that you are so in love with does not prepare you to deal with the onslaught of racism that you have to deal with here in the belly of the beast. So in this regard, your culture, when faced with an existential threat that foundational Black Americans have had to deal with, fails you. So who then has a superior culture? In my opinion, I think we do. Now you say you work harder. You say that you're not lazy. You say that you don't have a victim mentality. And by implication, you're basically saying that we are lazy, we don't work hard, and we are victims. Well, I want you to keep that same energy. Keep that same energy as they put you in handcuffs and load you into those military planes. Keep that same energy as they take your families and separate the children and take the fathers and the mothers away and send them home, breaking up the family. Keep that same energy as you're deported back to Jamaica, back to Trinidad. And all your worldly possessions that you've acquired over the decades are auctioned off or sent to the pawn shop or thrown in the trash. Keep that same energy as you're barred from returning to the United States or even asking to return to the United States for the next 2 decades. As your children grow up by themselves and the people that know you forgot, you keep that same energy. Keep that same energy as you forced to live in a country that you don't even know and nobody remembers you. And I want you to remember this. You had a home with us. We were kind to you. Yeah, foundational Black Americans, we were kind to you because we are a kind, loving people. But you chose to separate yourself from us. You are here because we welcomed you. But now you're not. But that's how many of us feel. Let me say it like this. You were here because we wanted you here. Keep that same energy as you forced to live in a country that you don't even know and nobody remembers you. And I want you to remember this. You had a home with us. We were kind to you. Yeah, foundational Black Americans, we were kind to you because we are a kind, loving people. But you chose to separate yourself from us. You are here because we welcomed you. But now you're not. But that's how many of us feel. Let me say it like this. You were here because we wanted you here. And now you're being sent home because we didn't fight to keep you here. And it's crucial that you understand that foundational Black Americans, we've given Donald Trump more support than any other Republican in recent history. And this isn't just a coincidence. It reflects a significant shift in how some within our community perceive the political landscape. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that Trump has effectively gained a stamp of approval from segments of the foundational Black American community. Did you know that 21% of Black men voted for Donald Trump? And what that did was it gives him permission to continue to act without hesitation in his policies and decisions. He says it all the time. Everybody voted for me. Latinos, Black people, I got overwhelming Black people support. And in response, what did he do? For those of us who are intelligent, there was an overt acknowledgement of Black American stamp of approval, and that's why he invited those Black rappers to his inauguration. Snoop Dogg and Nelly. Ain't no goddamn way they should have been invited. But he invited them to let us know that, hey, come perform in my inauguration. Those weren't just mere gestures. Everything has meaning. They were calculated moves to design and suggest that, hey, he's cool with us. He appreciated the favor. And so that's why we are not his primary targets. We're not his primary target, but we're not stupid enough to not know we somewhere on the list. See, this was a strategic play, leveraging our cultural icons to create a facade of acceptance while implementing policies that still at some point are negatively going to affect us in our communities. But hell, the cold part is we know, and he knows that we know. And we know that he knows that he knows that at some point he going to come at us too. And we'll be affected by the climate created by this overtly racially charged policies. What I'm saying is it's going to be some backwash, some backlash, it's going to be something, even if it just gins up the racists around here with the pickup truck brigade. The difference is we've been through this. We know what's coming. We know how to deal with it. We dealt with it for 400 plus years. You see? Now, the good thing for you all is all you have to do is deal with it for 4 years, maybe 12 years if somebody else gets elected right behind them. Nevertheless, we recognize the complexities of the situation and we prioritize our own interests and our well-being above all else. And that is why Black Americans are booked and busy and unbothered right now. Nevertheless, I want to take the opportunity to give a shout out to everybody who contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Let's go ahead and read this off. Are y'all with me? Hit the number 1 button. Let me know. Shout out to my man Lil Something for the collection plate. I appreciate you, Mr. Big Easy. For too long, we've been told to wait our turn and be patient and trust the system. The system that only betrayed us because as we come and we see these immigrants coming from these different places and getting loans, and they was giving Venezuelan migrants $13,000 and $14,000 in vouchers. Are you kidding me? We can't even bring up the idea of reparations without getting cursed out by the same immigrants that expect this country to give them the freebies that our taxpayers' tax dollars pay. We done. We are done. We're no longer waiting, and we're moving. We're moving on. And those of you all who can't keep up, you're going to get left behind. The future belongs to us. The power is ours. This is our time. While they tearing you down, we're going to be building ourselves up. And that's the decision for us to make. But what we can take pleasure in understanding and the knowledge, we can move forward as a group with the unshakable knowledge that we don't owe this country anything. We're here because our own record. We've given all that we could. But what we do owe is ourselves. We owe ourselves peace. We owe ourselves prosperity. We owe ourselves justice. We don't owe y'all nothing. So good luck. We love you. We don't want to see you suffer, but it's not our job to stop you from suffering. We did our best. Black folk warned folk about voting for Donald Trump. Again, I voted for Donald Trump because I want to lower taxes, but that's me. I voted my interest. But black folks warned you that voting for Donald Trump wasn't your interest. You did it anyway. You thought you would cause you to curry favor with the dominant society. They would treat you more like white. Your own people are saying that. It didn't work. Nevertheless, this is Uncle D, and as I always said this time, I love you.
Hey man, I do what I do.